Minutes before the wedding, a maid discovered a hidden secret that changed everything forever. Emma raced through the grand mansion, her heart pounding with excitement and urgency. The air reeked of fresh lilacs, and the warm summer sun spilled through the windows, casting a soft glow over the preparations. Today was supposed to be a fairy tale, the wedding of her best friend Lily, the moment they had both dreamed of since childhood. But as she arranged the final bouquets, a chill crept down her spine, a nagging doubt she couldn't shake. Could everything really be as perfect as it seemed? With arms full of flowers, Emma dashed to the attic for more satin ribbon, an innocent mission meant to add the final touches. As she rummaged through the dusty corners, her fingers brushed against a box tucked behind old furniture. The box was cobwebbed and heavy, its leather cracked with age. She hesitated, her heart racing at the prospect of what lay inside. Curiosity overcame her, and she pried it open. As the lid creaked, a storm of letters tumbled out like fallen leaves. Each one felt like a secret whisper from the past. Emma's pulse quickened. These letters, tinged with the scent of nostalgia, held tales of an affluent ancestry that intertwined with Lily's family, a lineage of wealth and power hidden beneath layers of quaint suburban charm. Emma felt an avalanche of emotions: shock, disbelief, guilt. This was not just gossip, this was a truth that could shatter the blissful celebration blossoming downstairs. Would revealing these secrets ruin Lily's wedding day? As laughter and voices drifted up from the gathering, Emma grappled with her conscience. The joy of family and friends, the hope of a new beginning, all threatened by this clandestine past. In Maplewood, where everyone knew each other's business and kindness reigned supreme, could this truth turn their little world upside down? The thought knotted her stomach. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. A sudden commotion echoed from below, a flurry of excitement paired with a whisper of unease. Lily, radiant in her gown, was about to walk down the aisle. Emma's heart ached. Should she burden her friend with this bombshell? Or would keeping silent protect Lily's happiness? When Lily unexpectedly confronted her family about a rift revealed in the letters, chaos erupted. "What do you mean we're not who we thought we were?" she cried. Emotions swirled like leaves caught in a whirlpool: love, betrayal, confusion. The very bonds of family lay bare, strained under the weight of conversation, and there stood Emma, paralyzed by the gravity of her choice. Should she intervene, revealing the truth that felt like it could implode the celebration? Or would silence protect their fragile peace? The seconds ticked closer to the moment that could redefine everything she held dear. Emma stood at the precipice of a decision, the culmination of this day hanging by a frayed thread, lives intertwined, love on the line. What would she choose? Lily's voice echoed like a bell, ringing through the hall filled with friends and family. The shock on her face, a blend of confusion and disbelief, mirrored the emotions swirling inside Emma. In that moment, time seemed to stretch, and the laughter outside faded into an uncomfortable silence. The atmosphere was electric, charged with the tension of uncertainty. Emma's fingers trembled as she held the letters, their contents gnawing at her gut. With every heartbeat, she felt the weight of her decision build like an impending storm. "Lily, wait," she finally said, stepping forward. The eyes of the guests all fell on her, drawn into an unexpected drama. Could she really do this? "Do you want to know the truth?" Emma asked, her voice steady but soft. "The truth from those letters?" Lily's expression changed slightly, morphing from confusion to urgency. "What letters?" she demanded, trying to grasp the rapid shift in the room. Everyone was still now, the air thick with anticipation. Emma took a deep breath. Each word felt heavy as she traced the jagged edges of the revelation. "They talk about your family, about things you don't know, she said quietly, pointing to the pile gathered at her feet. Enough. A voice cut through the air, sharp and bitter. It was Lily's mother, clutching the fabric of her dress as if it were a lifeline. This is a wedding, not a time for accusations or scandal. But Lily wasn't looking at her mother. She turned sharply to Emma, the hurt in her eyes undeniable. What are you saying? What do they say? Emma hesitated, a wave of fear washing over her. The wedding they had envisioned, the bond of sisterhood they cherished, all of it felt in jeopardy. Each moment that passed felt like a fork in the road. Would this choice bring them closer together, or tear them apart forever? Handing Lily one of the letters, Emma's voice broke slightly. You have a right to know. Lily took the piece of paper, scanning the words. Tension radiated from her as she read, her face shifting from shock to disbelief, and then to something that resembled anger. Why didn't anyone tell me? She whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Because we were afraid, her mother interjected, her own face shedding tears of desperation. So much can change in an instant, Lily. I wanted to protect you. Protect me? A bitter laugh escaped Lily's lips. From the truth? The room was silent, only the sound of Lily's breathing filling the space, heavy with the weight of the unfolding tragedy. The whispers of the guests turned to murmurs of disbelief, some sharing worried glances, unsure of what to do next. Emma felt a mix of relief and despair. The truth was out, but at what cost? Could their friendship remain intact with this tangle of secrets exposed? Lily's face was unreadable, a theater of emotions battling against one another. I need to think, she finally managed, her voice trembling. Then, she turned, walking away toward the open doors, her silhouette framed by sunlight. As she stepped outside, Emma's heart felt like it had shattered. This was how the day was supposed to go. The laughter, the joy, the celebration all in jeopardy. She wanted to run after her friend, to reassure her, to fix it all. But would that even help? Lily's family was whispering now, glances exchanged like silent questions. The energy in the room pulsated, alive and unnerving, clamoring for clarity. As each unexpected moment tugged at her heart, Emma realized she was standing at another crossroads. Could she mend the rift she inadvertently caused? And if she did, was the friendship with Lily worth the sacrifice? As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows through the grand hallway, Emma knew time was running out. The wedding wasn't just changing, it was rewriting the story they shared. Would she be able to salvage the remnants of their bond, or was it already too late? Determined, she took a deep breath and made her choice, moving toward the door to find Lily. The cool evening air met her face like a promise, she needed to make things right. But in what way? By revealing more secrets? Or healing old wounds? With every step, the stakes grew higher. Emma stepped outside, the door swinging shut behind her with a dull thud. The sunlight felt different now, piercing and unforgiving. She scanned the garden, the scene of laughter and happiness now marred by chaos. There was Lily, perched on a stone bench, her hands clenched tightly in her lap, a storm brewing within her eyes. Lily looked so small and fragile, yet the intensity in her gaze spoke volumes. Emma approached, each step weighted with anxiety. Lily, she began, her voice breaking. Lily raised her head, locking eyes with Emma. For a moment, silence stretched between them, heavy and suffocating, before it burst. Why, Emma? Why didn't you let me live in ignorance? Her voice cracked, raw and trembling. I thought you deserved to know the truth, Emma admitted softly, feeling the tears prick at her own eyes. I wanted to protect you too, but it was just too big to hide. Hiding it is what everyone did. Lily shot back, her anger flaring. And now look what I've lost. Emma instinctively reached for Lily's hand, but Lily jerked away as if Emma's touch burned. You think I'm losing anything? You're the one who just unveiled a bombshell at my wedding. This isn't about you anymore. The wind rustled the leaves overhead, filling the space with a gentle hissing sound, as though nature itself was trying to mediate. Emma took a deep breath. I know it's not easy, and I'm sorry for that. But Lily, look around. This isn't just affecting you. Your family, your future, your happiness. They need to know too. Do they? Lily's question hung in the air, almost daring Emma to answer. Emma hesitated. Did they? Would anyone, including Lily, even want to hear whatever truth was buried in those letters? With every passing moment, she felt the ambiguity of their friendship twisting and spiraling, weighty and uncertain. Lily's expression softened, if only just a little. I thought this day would be perfect. That it was all real. Emma interjected gently. No day is without problems, Lily. You know that. The question is, what do you want to do with it all? What do you want moving forward? Lily's eyes shimmered as she considered this. For a brief moment, Emma caught a glimpse of the sisterly bond they once shared, the laughter, the memories, the inside jokes. What if they don't accept me after this? Lily whispered, as if the weight of the revelation was too much to process. Then we face it together, Emma replied, her resolve igniting like a brushfire. You're stronger than this, and so is your family. They love you, even if it feels complicated right now. Lily stared at the ground, defeated. And if they don't? If it changes everything? It might change everything. But keeping the truth buried is a lonely way to live. Don't you want to be free? A tear slipped down Lily's cheek, and in that moment, Emma realized the true battle wasn't just about the letters. It was about vulnerability. Maybe, Lily whispered, the word almost lost in the evening breeze. Emma's heart raced. There was a flicker of hope, a glimmer, that maybe they could navigate this storm together. But time was ticking, and decisions loomed. Let us talk to them. Start mending things before it's too late, Emma urged, taking a small step closer. Can we really face them? Before Emma could answer, a loud voice boomed from within the hall. Lily. We need to finish the ceremony. It was her father, a figure of authority and expectation. They both jumped at the interruption, the tension slithering back into the air. Emma felt a surge of fear wash over her. They didn't have much time. What would Lily choose? Lily, she said urgently, whatever you decide, I'll be right here. With the wedding clock ticking, Lily turned back toward the open doors, her heart a battlefield of emotions. Would she confront the truth head-on, or retreat into the comfort of silence, forever changed, but never free? As they stepped toward the moment that would define them, Emma realized the real question lingered just out of reach. Was Lily ready to uncover the depths of her own heart? In the face of uncharted waters, where would their journey lead them? Lily hesitated at the threshold, caught between the weight of her past and the optimism of her future. The vibrant decorations, once symbols of joy, felt strangely mocking against the backdrop of her inner turmoil. What if they can't handle it? She finally murmured, almost to herself. Emma stepped closer, her heart pounding. You won't know unless you try. What's worse? Facing the truth or living a lie? A heavy silence fell again as Lily's gaze flickered toward the inviting doors. The guests inside were humming with excitement, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing just outside. Her father's commanding voice echoed again, louder this time. Lily. We need you now. Maybe I can just tell them later, she suggested weakly, the words tasting bitter on her tongue. No. Emma's voice was firm, surprising them both. This isn't something you can postpone. You can't start a new chapter by holding on to old secrets. The prospect of confrontation loomed large. Together after all these years, yet suddenly worlds apart. Lily felt trapped, the kind of panic that wrapped around her chest like a vice. But what if they don't want me anymore? They love you, Lily. Don't underestimate that love. It's stronger than any secret. Emma's words were like a lifeline thrown into turbulent waters. Lily's heart raced as she thought about her family, the faces of her mother, sister, and even her future husband flashed before her. Could they really embrace this truth? It felt like standing on the edge of a cliff, staring into an abyss. Or what if telling them changes everything for the worse? A wave of nausea washed over her as she envisioned the fallout, the hurt, the disappointment. We'll deal with it together. Emma's eyes shone with determination. You are not alone in this. We'll wade through the chaos side by side. The thought comforted Lily just enough to feel a flicker of courage ignite within her. What if they ask me questions that I can't answer? What if they see me differently? They might, but isn't that better than pretending to be someone you're not? Emma pleaded. You deserve to be fully seen, to be truly you. Lily took a breath, tasting the heaviness in the air, struggling to climb over the wall of fear. But how do you show vulnerability to the ones you've always tried to impress? Are you really ready for this? Emma whispered. It was a simple question, but it rattled Lily deeply. No one is ready for something like this, she replied, reflecting on the gravity of that moment. The soft music from the wedding party spilled through the doorway, a signal that time was almost up. Everyone is waiting for you, Lily. Is this your moment? The choice hung heavily, a point of no return flashing before her like neon lights. Time trickled by, each second resonating with uncertainty. What if I regret this? Regret comes from silence. Live your truth, however painful it may be. You owe that to yourself. Lily's decision swayed, life pushing and pulling her like the tides. She squeezed her eyes shut, feeling tears slip down her cheeks. What did she want more than anything? To stand tall and face the world as her true self. Holding Emma's steady gaze, Lily whispered, if I do this, will you be right beside me? Always. And with that promise, a bond undid the knots of fear in Lily's heart. As she opened her eyes, a resolve began to settle in. She turned back towards the hall where her loved ones waited. Maybe she could do this. With her heart racing, she took a step toward the threshold of chaos and hope, each footfall steady as she prepared to face her family. But just as she reached for the door, a loud crash echoed from inside. The music stopped abruptly, and a hush fell over the crowd. What was that? Emma whispered, her expression stricken with alarm. Lily's breath caught in her throat as they both shared a terrified glance. Was this another layer of chaos? What could it mean? With her heart pounding against her ribcage, she realized that tonight held more secrets than she ever anticipated. Would she still have the strength to step forward when everything seemed to unravel? The question hung in the air, heavy and unresolved, as she took a deep breath and pushed open the door to what awaited inside. Lily stepped through the door, and her heart plummeted at the sight before her. The room was in disarray, guests clustered in shocked groups, their faces a blend of confusion and concern. The source of the crash became clear. A large floral arrangement had toppled over, scattered petals draping the floor like a bruised heart. Is everyone okay? She blurted out, her voice trembling. Whispers bounced around the room. Her mother rushed to her side, eyes wide with worry. What happened? We thought it was part of the festivities, she said, glancing nervously at the crowd. Lily's stomach twisted as she caught sight of her fiancé, Mark, kneeling by the shattered vase. His expression was strained as he picked up the remnants, the excitement of the day suddenly overshadowed by an unseen shadow. I'm fine, really, he reassured her, but the edge in his voice made her skin crawl. What is going on? Lily asked, desperation creeping into her thoughts. She had come here ready to reveal her truth, only to find the air thick with new tension. But before he could answer, her sister, Maid, burst through the swarm of guests. With her usual brightly colored dress now smeared with petals, she looked both bewildered and frantic. Lily. You need to see this. The urgency in Meg's voice sent a chill through Lily. See what? Just come. Meg tugged at her arm, pulling her away from the surging crowd. Lily shot Emma a panicked glance, but Emma was already closing in, concern knitting her brow. They followed Meg down a corridor, where the music faded to faint echoes. What is it? Lily's pulse raced as her sister led her to a quiet corner near the restrooms, the chaos of the wedding fading into background noise. When they reached the sanctuary of the corner, Meg turned sharply, her expression earnest, almost conspiratorial. It's about Mark. Lily's heart plummeted. What about him? Just listen. Meg took a deep breath, her chin trembling like the flickering light above them. He and Emily, his childhood friend, they were seen together last night. It's not just friendly, they were holding hands. A misunderstanding, Lily said, attempting to latch on to denial. They've known each other forever. No, Lily. I heard them talking. She told him to pick the right person and not to let anyone pressure him, Meg insisted, her voice firm. Lily felt the ground shift beneath her, the shaky confidence that had just begun to bloom now threatened by the roots of doubt. That doesn't mean anything. He loves me. Does he? Meg's eyes pierced through her defensiveness like daggers. You need to ask yourself if you're about to marry someone who might not want this, who might not want you. Lily staggered back, grappling with a mixture of anger and fear. The portrait of their impending wedding, once radiant and perfect, now felt corrupted, colors dimmed and blurred. What do I even do with this? Lily whispered, her throat tightening. I don't want to lose him, but what if you need to confront him, Meg urged. This is more than your secret. This is about your future. Each word struck harder than the last. Could she truly bear to know the truth now? Suddenly, Emma's hand found Lily's shoulder, grounding her. Whatever the truth is, you'll face it together. We'll be right here. Just then, a deep voice boomed from the main area. Where's Lily? We need her. It was her father, the weight of family expectation amplifying the pressure on her chest. Lily's mind raced, torn between the walls that started closing in and the strength she needed. She could feel her heart hammering against her ribs, suffocated by doubt. Are you ready? Emma asked, her eyes steady and unwavering. The question echoed within her. It wasn't about just facing her family anymore. It was about confronting not just the love she had built, but also the unsteady foundation it rested on. Lily took a deep breath, steadying herself. I have to know. Whatever happens next. The music started up again in the background, laughter rolling through the hall, distant yet urgent. And as she turned back toward the chaos of the crowd, every step felt heavier. A weight she couldn't quite shake. Could she really handle the truth? Would her life unravel, or could she find strength even in the messiness of it all? Those questions loomed large, a storm cloud of uncertainty looming ahead. As Lily stepped back into the main area, a mix of confusion and dread washed over her. The laughter and music felt like a cruel contrast to the whirlwind of emotions swirling inside her. Every face she passed appeared joyful, unaware of the chaos growing within her heart. How could she be part of this celebration when everything felt so wrong? She spotted Mark across the room. He stood with a group of friends, his laughter ringing out clear and bright. But instead of warmth, it pierced through her like a cold knife. She wanted to believe that what Meg said wasn't true, but how could she ignore those words? What if his smile masked something deeper, something hidden? Are you okay? Emma whispered, drawing closer. You look pale. I don't know. I just have to talk to him. The words spilled from her lips before she could rethink them. Uncertainty twisted inside her like a taut string. Okay, I've got your back. Just take a breath. Emma looked at her, a reassuring presence amidst the chaos. Taking a deep breath, Lily focused on Mark and decided to step closer, the chatter surrounding them dulling into a background hum. Each stride felt like an eternity. As he turned to her, the warmth in those deep brown eyes used to comfort her. Now, it felt like the flicker of a dying flame. Hey! There you are, he said, a genuine smile breaking across his face. I've missed you. Mark, can we talk?" The request fell out louder than she intended, drawing the attention of those near. "Sure, what's up?" He looked momentarily bewildered but quickly masked it. Lily swallowed hard, the words lodged in her throat. She opened her mouth, but uncertainty flooded over her, drowning out her intent. "It's just. Everything feels off. I heard some things about what? The flowers? Or that vase?" He laughed nervously, and though she wanted to smile back, the facade felt so transparent. "No, not that." She took a shaky breath, determination welling up. "It's about you and Emily." The room felt like it paused. Guests around them continued their conversations, but in this moment, it was just the two of them, an invisible wall rising between. Mark's smile faltered, his laughter silenced. "Lily, I can explain," he said, urgency lining his voice. "Explain what?" "That you were holding hands with her last night." Her heart raced, fury and hurt entwining. "But that was nothing." He raised his voice, frustration drawing the gaze of a few close by. "Nothing?" Her voice cracked, the weight of each word pushing down on her. "If it's nothing, then why did it feel like so much to my sister?" Mark stepped closer, his expression pleading. "You know Emily. She's like family. We've known each other for so long. And you love me, right?" The question left her lips before she could pause and contemplate the mess this conversation had spiraled into. "Of course I do. I love you, Lily." His eyes looked frantic, yet the break in his voice felt like it echoed hidden uncertainty. "Then why were you holding hands?" The raw honesty of her question hung heavy, the truth clashing against the facade he wore. The tension grew thick, heavy enough to feel in the air. Before he could respond, laughter erupted from the crowd. A couple nearby was twirling, each spin a reminder of joyous commitment. Lily felt like a stranger in their midst, a ghost in her own celebration. "Just tell me," she demanded, moments ticking by like an eternity. "Was it just a friendly gesture, or is there more to it?" Mark's breath caught in his throat. The silence stretched painfully, her heart pounding in response to the uncertainty hanging like a thick fog. Just then, a commotion swept through the crowd. A new guest entered, and the room fell silent again. Whispers erupted around them, and Lily turned slightly to catch a glimpse. Were they waiting for him too, or was it just to distract from the storm brewing between her and Mark? "Lily," he said more quietly, his voice almost lost in the rising tide of anticipation. "You need to understand." "Understand what?" "That you might not want this. That you're torn between me and a past." She shot back, her heart racing, each word packed with frustration and fear. Suddenly, the music shifted dramatically, as if to underscore the tension. The crowd's eyes darted to the entrance, where a woman stood, clutching a bouquet, her face blank but etched with familiarity. "Lily. I think you need to see this." At the sound of the voice, her mind raced. Who was it? And what could they possibly reveal now? With her heart pounding, Lily felt the weight of the moment pressing down. What new truth awaited her? And could it shatter everything she thought she knew about love? The tension in the room was palpable. All eyes were glued to the newcomer, a woman standing at the entrance, her presence commanding attention like a spotlight. Lily squinted, trying to recognize her, feeling a strange mix of worry and curiosity knotting in her gut. She held a bouquet of flowers, and as she took a step forward, her visage came into sharp focus. "Sarah?" Lily breathed, shock seeping into her voice. The woman's eyes darted around the room before settling on Lily, who caught her breath at the mixture of fear and determination etched on Sarah's face. Sarah had been Mark's best friend from childhood, and her sudden arrival felt wrong against the backdrop of celebration. The bouquet trembled slightly in her hands, as if it bore the weight of untold truths. "Lily, please," Sarah implored, her voice tentative but urgent. "I need to talk to you. Now." "About what?" Mark's voice cut through the rising clamor, defensive and desperate. About everything, Sarah replied, cutting him off. This can't wait. The way she looked at Lily held both compassion and dread, as if she were a lifeline thrown into stormy waters. Lily glanced back at Mark, whose expression morphed from shock to anger. This isn't the time, Sarah. He snapped, his facade cracking under the pressure. It is the time, she insisted, stepping forward. Lily deserves to know. Heart pounding, Lily gestured toward the side of the room, the chaotic celebration fading into the background. Mark shot her a panicked look, but she turned her back on him, her heart twisting as she followed Sarah into the quieter hallway just beyond the main event. Each step felt weighed down by uncertainty, but she had to hear what Sarah had to say. Lily, this is hard for me, Sarah started, her voice shaking slightly. Just tell me, Lily urged, her mind racing. What is going on? I don't know how to say this, but you have to know that what you saw with Mark and Emily, it wasn't just a friendship. Mark told me he had feelings for her before you two got serious. Sarah paused, gauging Lily's reaction, then pressed on. He cares about you, but there's so much you don't know. What do you mean? Why didn't he say anything? I don't know. He was confused. But it's more than just that, Sarah confessed, her eyes welling with tears. He was afraid to lose you. And he thought Lily's head spun as she tried to process the gravity of Sarah's words. Doubt swelled, clawing at the edges of what she thought was a solid relationship. Thought what? That I wouldn't understand. That he could keep it all a secret, Sarah said, her voice sinking. But it's not only about Emily. There's somebody else, someone from the past who's come back to complicate everything. Who? I need to know. Lily felt the urgency pull at her, the walls closing in. Your sister, Sarah whispered, grief evident in her tone. Emily, as she's been reaching out to him, talking about old feelings, trying to rekindle something. I couldn't sit back and watch you get hurt anymore. Lily's heart sank. Her mind raced as she began connecting the dots that made no sense just moments before. Emily had never expressed anything other than friendship for Mark. Could it be true? Could she have been blind to something so close to her? Is this why they were together last night? She muttered, barely finding voice through the turmoil. Lily, I'm so sorry, Sarah said, stepping closer, her eyes pleading with understanding. I had to tell you, even though it could ruin everything. The sound of laughter echoed down the hall, juxtaposed against the heaviness in Lily's heart. She leaned against the wall, grappling with the betrayal from the two people she cared the most about. Do you think I should confront him? She finally asked, her voice trembling. I think you have to do what feels right for you, Sarah said quietly. But don't wait too long. Once you find the truth, there might not be a chance to go back. Lily stood, paralyzed with conflicting emotions. The choices ahead felt overwhelming, the stakes higher than ever before. She had to decide if she would face Mark and demand all the answers she needed, or if she would retreat into the familiar comfort of ignorance. But amidst her confusion, a single thought stood out: how easily everything could shatter. Can you wait here for me? She asked Sarah, feeling resolve wash over her. I need to talk to him, and I need to know if he'll come clean. Of course, Sarah nodded, looking torn yet supportive. With the world swirling around her, Lily headed back into the vibrant chaos, knowing one truth: she was on the brink of an emotional tempest that could either bring clarity or unleash destruction. Entering the main area again, Lily spotted Mark still surrounded by laughter. But now, she could see behind his smile, the cracks that might have never been visible before. As she approached him, the noise faded into silence, her heart pounding in time with each determined stride. Mark, she called, her voice steady. We need to talk for real this time. But as his expression shifted from confused to fearful, she had to wonder, would she be ready for the truth waiting at the edge of their love? As she stepped deeper into the gathering, the cacophony of chatter and clinking glasses turned into a distant hum. Lily's heart raced, each beat echoing the gravity of the moment she was walking toward. Mark stood near the bar, a glass in his hand, smiling but not meeting her eyes. The room had morphed into something unfamiliar, a maze of lies and half-truths waiting to be unraveled. Lily? His voice, once warm, now felt laced with dread. Is everything okay? Not really, she replied, her throat tight. All around them, guests laughed and danced, completely oblivious to the storm brewing just a few feet away. We need to talk now. Mark shifted uncomfortably, his smile faltering. Can't it wait? I mean, it is our party, after all. Your party? Anger flared within her, driving her voice higher. You think it's just your day? After everything Sarah just told me, I'm not waiting another second. His brow furrowed, concern and guilt wrestling in his expression. Lily, I don't. She cut him off, trembling with a mixture of fear and determination. You're going to tell me the truth. About you and Emily. About your feelings. Now. Guests around them shot furtive glances, sensing the tension. Lily could feel their eyes on her, but at that moment, she didn't care. All she needed was to focus on Mark, the man she had believed to be her everything. Look, can we just step outside? He asked, desperation leaking into his words. Tell me here, Lily insisted, a fierce resolve settling over her. Whatever secrets you think you can hide, this is the moment to come clean. Mark hesitated, then finally seemed to give in, his shoulders slumping as he set his glass down. All right, fine. He ran a hand through his hair, a nervous habit she knew all too well. But, you have to understand, things are complicated. Complicated? She shot back, her voice low but firm. Is this about your past with Emily? Or is there more to it? Is it about my sister? His silence spoke volumes. The guilt etched on his face confirmed what she feared most. Why didn't you just tell me? She whispered, hurt lacing her words. Why did you keep it from me? Because I thought I could handle it. I thought it wouldn't matter once we were together, he confessed, pain flashing in his eyes. But Emily, she's been around. She's in my head. I never meant for this to get complicated. I swear, Lily, I care about you. Tears brimmed in Lily's eyes, feeling her world shift beneath her. But what about Emily? Is there still something there? Did you ever really let her go? Lily, please, you have no idea how hard this is. Mark's voice wavered. I never wanted to hurt you. I thought I was being honest all along. But now, everything feels like a mess. Yes. Everything is a mess. She shouted, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. The emotions that had been held back surged to the surface. You say you care, but you kept me in the dark. How do I know what is real? How do I know you want to go back to her? In that moment, a shadow passed over Mark's face, a flicker of something she couldn't quite grasp. There's someone else, Lily. I've been thinking about what might happen if things fall apart. I've heard Emily talk about rekindling feelings before. Lily's breath caught in her throat, devastated. You're saying you haven't let go of either of us? On the brink of marriage, Mark. He looked away, guilt flooding his features. I never wanted to hurt you, but I guess I've been scared. Lily stumbled back, her mind racing. The laughter and music from the party blurred into a backdrop of white noise. Could she really stand here and let everything fall apart? Could she face a reality where the man she loved harbored such deep conflicts? Mark, she breathed, shaking her head. If you truly love me, you need to make a choice. I can't be second to anyone, not even Emily. You either choose me or you let me go. The finality of her words hung in the air like a thick fog, wrapping around them both. Mark opened his mouth, but before he could answer, a loud crash from the party erupted from behind them. Lily's heart dropped as she turned to see chaos unfold. Guests were rushing, the atmosphere erupting into confusion. Was this the distraction they needed, or would it push the truth even further away? "Mark, what is happening?" she cried, her mind racing. But even as she asked, she understood some truths didn't just hang in the balance. They collided with life's unpredictable moments. And the real test was just beginning. With her heart pounding, she turned back to him, resolute. "We can't ignore it any longer. This isn't just our future on the line, it's time to decide what matters most." As the chaos continued to unfold, everything felt poised on the edge of a knife, and somewhere in that noise, the answer still remained hidden. Would they face the truth together, or would the echoes of their past destroy their future? Lily's heart raced as she caught a glimpse of the crowd. People were screaming and pushing their way toward the exits, panic enveloping the room like a dark cloud. The lively celebration had transformed into a whirlwind of confusion and fear, leaving her skin prickly with anxiety. "What was that?" she exclaimed, adrenaline surging through her veins. She turned back to Mark, desperately searching his eyes for reassurance, but saw only a whirlwind of his own thoughts. "Tell me you know what is happening." I don't know." He stammered, his words tumbling out like loose pebbles down a hill. He glanced toward the noise. "We need to check it out." "No." she snapped, grabbing his arm. "Not until you tell me where we stand. Are we just going to pretend everything is okay while our lives are falling apart?" He hesitated, looking conflicted. The chaos swirled around them, but Lily felt a strange stillness in that moment. It was just the two of them now, standing on the precipice of everything they had built together. "Lily, please." Mark's voice softened, a blend of desperation and longing. "To be honest, this party was supposed to be our celebration, not a battlefield. But, if it's a choice between you and Emily, enough." She cut him off, the weight of his words crashing down on her. "I can't hear another excuse. Not now. Not when I've laid my heart bare for you." Her chest tightened as she felt the tremors of raw emotion within her, the realization that everything that mattered most could slip through her fingers. A commotion erupted as a small group of guests rushed past them, fueling the urgency. Suddenly, a woman near the bar burst into tears, shoving her phone into her friend's hands. The cries and shouts grew louder, taking on a life of their own. Curiosity and dread coiled within Lily's gut. What had happened? "Let us go," Mark said, his voice barely audible over the noise. "Maybe we can help." But before she could respond, a loud thud echoed through the room, drawing attention. Lily turned her head just in time to see someone collapse to the floor, a sea of shocked faces gathering around. Panic set in like a punch to the gut. "Is she okay?" somebody shouted. Mark took a step forward, instinctively moving toward the commotion, but Lily pulled him back, shaking her head. "What about us?" "Lily, we can't just stand here," he insisted, glancing between her and the crowd. "People need help." "And what about us?" she replied, holding his gaze. "We're teetering on the edge of something huge." In that moment, everything around them faded into background noise. The music, the laughter, the celebration, all of it disappeared. All they had was the weight of the unsaid between them, thickening the air. "Mark." Her voice broke, but she pressed on. "You have to choose right now. I need to know if I'm the one you want, if we're worth fighting for. Because if this party ends in chaos, I don't want to let our love be forgotten in the rubble of this mess." His eyes widened, the weight of her plea seeping into him. She could see the conflict churning in his mind. Then his expression shifted. It was a flicker, but it was there, an understanding, a decision hanging on the tip of his tongue. "Lily," he started, uncertainty mingling with clarity. Before he could say anything further, another loud crash erupted from behind them. The air filled with screams once more, drowning out their moment. Lily's heart dropped again, this time not from fear, but from the realization that time might be slipping away from them. "Please," she implored. "Don't let this be the last moment we have to choose." But just then, a frantic voice rang out above the chaos, someone they both knew calling for help in a way that sent chills down her spine. Lily turned towards the source of the sound, a mixture of dread and curiosity bubbling within her. What the hell is going on? Mark's grip tightened on her arm, his eyes wide with recognition and fear. They needed to decide together before the moment slipped through their fingers entirely. But as they both glanced back towards the source of the turmoil, she felt another wave of uncertainty descend over them. "It's getting worse, Lily," he said. She nodded slowly, knowing they were teetering on the edge of something more profound than either had anticipated. "What happens if we can't even face this?" she whispered, hoping for clarity. But clarity seemed as elusive as the truth they had tried so hard to confront. As they stood there, caught between chaos and the reality of their fractured relationship, Lily took a deep breath, ready for whatever awaited them next. Would they face the truth, or would this moment seal their fates forever? The air was thick with confusion as Lily and Mark stood in the middle of the chaos. The crowd shifted like a living organism, anxiety rippling through the guests. The emergency had snapped the festive energy, leaving a palpable tension hanging between them. "Lily, we need to make a choice," Mark said, urgency ringing in his voice. The weight of unspoken decisions loomed over them, stronger than ever. Lily's heart raced. "Are you ready to fight for us? Because I can't keep this half-life. Not anymore." Her voice carried the tremor of vulnerability, echoing her internal struggle. Mark opened his mouth, then hesitated, uncertainty etched across his features. For a moment, it felt like the world had paused, teetering on the brink of revelation. Just then, another loud crash stole their focus again. The crowd parted as a figure rushed through, breathless and scared. Lily's sister, Meg. "Lily! Mark!" Meg shouted, scrambling toward them. "You need to come, quick. It's Mom." Lily's stomach dropped. The moment felt surreal, a cruel twist of fate adding more weight to their already tumultuous reality. "What happened?" she asked, dread coursing through her veins. "It's bad." She collapsed. "They're trying to revive her." Panic laced Meg's voice, a sharp contrast to the festive mood just moments ago. Mark's grip tightened on Lily's shoulder, grounding her as her worries spiraled. "We need to go," he urged, eyes flashing with concern. But an instinct tugged at her, a deeper focus on their original conversation that felt unfinished. "Mark," she started, but the urgency in Meg's gaze silenced her words. As they rushed through the crowd, navigating the crumbled glamour of her wedding day, Lily felt confusion and fear intertwining within her. The people around them were in disarray, whispers rising like smoke. When they reached the scene, her heart clenched. Over in the corner, her mother lay on the floor, surrounded by guests, the bright colors of the room now dimmed in Lily's eyes. Panic flooded her as a healer knelt beside her mom. It was an overwhelming sight. Everything she once knew flipped on its head. "Get back!" the healer called out, holding the crowd at bay. "What happened?" Lily cried, stepping forward. Barriers disappeared in her call for clarity. She gasped when she finally caught a glimpse of her mother's pale face. She collapsed. "The paramedics are on their way." "Just stay calm," came the measured voice of the healer, her gaze flicking between Lily and Mark. In that moment, time itself stretched, a heavy shroud weighing down the air. Everything Lily had been wrestling with, the fears of love, loyalty, the chaos of buried secrets, swirled within her like a tempest. A sense of urgency gripped her. Amidst the uncertainty surrounding them, one thing became abundantly clear: life is too fleeting to walk in shadows. Lily turned to Mark, searching his eyes, realizing the bond they had was begging to be shored up in the face of such raw vulnerability. "Whatever happens here, I need you to know I'm ready to fight for us," she said, her voice breaking, and yet resolute. Mark nodded, but his gaze was distant, burdened by turmoil and guilt. The noise around them faded, the weight of her words pulling him back. "Lily," he responded, vulnerability threading through his earnestness. "I didn't know how much this would mean until this moment. I realize what I could lose and I want to choose you. But I can't face this without being open, without being all in. Watching as her mother stirred, the realization set in. Life could change in a heartbeat. Secrets, feelings buried in past shadows, all paled in comparison to the love they were fighting for. Then let us be raw, together. Let us confront everything. The fire in Lily flared, igniting a mix of hope and determination. Once this is over, we'll face everything, both the truth about us and the realities of our lives. Together. Just then the sirens wailed in the distance, breaking the stillness as paramedics pushed through the door. Lily took a deep breath, her heart racing with the weight of what lay ahead. The true test was about to unfold, one that required not just a confrontation of their past but a promise to navigate the unknown together. As they stood side by side, the chaos around them receding, Lily understood that their journey wasn't about avoiding storms, but learning to dance in the rain. She squeezed Mark's hand tighter. "Promise?" "Promise," he replied, certainty crystallizing in his voice. As the paramedics tended to her mother, she found herself filled with hope rather than fear. The path ahead might be riddled with challenges, but there was power in truth, the strength of family, and the resilience of choosing love. In those moments fraught with uncertainty, Lily felt ready to embrace everything. With Mark beside her, she realized that any transformation was possible, as long as they faced it together. As they prepared for whatever lay ahead, one thing was certain: today wouldn't be remembered just for the wedding bells, but for the courage to rise above all storms, forging a love deep enough to weather any future tempest. So, let us make this promise, let us commit fiercely. And just like Lily and Mark, you too can choose to embrace your truths and the connections that matter. Now, if you found inspiration and hope in their journey, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel. This is the moment to show your support and not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let it know that love stories like this matter. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Your voice matters. And lastly, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. True fans know the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.